I'm Eddie.
I'm Billy.
We are
The
trick-or-treaters. Today, Mallrats.
Mallrats.
For those of you familiar with this, great movie. Well done 4K restoration. This is actually the first time I've seen a movie on 4K.
Me too. First time I've ever seen the film, period.
And for those of you who are aware, Jay and Silent Bob. That's all I should have to say, so not entirely appropriate for younger audiences.
Yeah, if you are going to watch, we watched the extended edition. It's unrated, a lot of language, a lot of sex jokes and references. Naturally, we laughed our butts off. It's great. This is like A+ comedy right here. If you do not like this film and you're like a Marvel fan, you got Stan Lee. You know how he sold me on this film? Tell him the story. We were at Best Buy.
We were at Best Buy. He was debating whether to get it or not, having never seen Mallrats.
Right.
He knew Stan Lee had a cameo in it. So I just gave him a brief blurb of the cameo. Just like, Stan Lee's superhero anatomy. He's like, okay.
That's all it took for me.
And it was only like, what, $10 you said?
Yeah, well, it might have been more. It was like 10 because Best Buy was in the process of getting rid of all their physical media. So when we went, we found really good deals in there. I mean, like half off some of that stuff.
I got the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre pretty cheap. Steelbook.
And it looks amazing. I actually want to watch that.
I do too, because I actually haven't watched that copy yet.
Wait, Eddie, look at the screen. Dude, it's a sailboat. Do you see that? That's just you can't see it? How long have you been standing here trying to figure that out? It's right over there. It's a sailboat. You don't see that like on the back wall there? Huh. I'm sorry if you've been standing here for like 3 hours just standing there. What is going on? Sailboat. He didn't have a special brownie before we started. He didn't have the right brownie to see it, so I did. Or it was in a cookie that a friend made us. God. So, Mallrats. Honestly, I can't say big, but I appreciate Kevin Smith. Anytime I see him in interviews, he was a big Stan Lee fan. He talked about him a lot. And this cameo, it was a big deal for him because he was such a big comic book fan, just like the characters of the film.
I don't know much background. I didn't realize we were going to be watching it and all that today, so I don't really know a lot of the background of this one like I do others.
The only thing I read about was Shannon Doherty. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The girl who plays Prue. Yeah. This was supposed to be her shot at becoming a big movie star, and because the movie wasn't financially successful when it first came out, they said, "Oh, well, we're not going to cast you in anything," which I think is kind of crappy because you're targeting a very niche audience, obviously.
Agreed. Point. We say it's funny. We say we laugh our butts off. Juvenile humor is the best way to phrase that. If you guys think that's stupid, this is not for you.
No.
But it's those kind of jokes. It's the juvenile humor. And yes, we're a couple of grown adults.
There's a kid on the escalator again! He has no respect or no fear of escalators, man.
There's a kid stuck on the escalator.
Yeah, it's very stupid humor.
We end up actually doing that at a mall. We're like these kids now.
And the bad thing was, last time I went to the mall, one of the escalators were closed down. But yeah, very stupid humor, but really funny. I've learned a new way to do a handshake with people I don't like, so that's good. But no, you have, not only do you have Jay and Silent Bob, you also have Shannon Doherty. You have the girl who plays Sandler's girlfriend in Big Daddy.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I think she might have been in that. I don't know.
She's in it. Yeah. I think she's the other girl.
Maybe.
It's been one that's.
No, I think it's the girlfriend. It's the girlfriend.
Ben Affleck.
And then you also had Michael Rooker. And yeah, Ben Affleck.
Found more of him than you wanted to.
Yeah, they have a nice rear end shot of him. Thank God they didn't show anything else, though, so it was okay. And actually, it was interesting seeing him in more of a serious role because even in, like, Love and Monsters, it's serious, but it's goofy. With this, there are goofy things, but his character is really serious, and it's so funny just the way that things kind of go down with the film. And these two guys are trying to win back the women they like, which is great. So it's like there's romance within the comedy,
Mhm.
and Ben Affleck was great in this. Like I don't know, this was one of his early roles. I'm
I
assuming.
believe so, and I don't think I've ever seen him play a character like that since.
Yeah, I think my
Most
favorite.
of his characters I've seen him play are likable.
I like him in The Accountant, but yeah, this is the only film with Affleck other than the DC stuff. I did not like him as Batman, but that's a personal preference, not really that I hated him. But yeah, his character he plays in this is not likable at all. You'll feel very uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
like in the back of a Volkswagen or something like that. But yeah, it's just we're gonna make references all day, guys. Sorry,
The
but
people
besides,
who have seen the movie are probably sitting there laughing their butts off right now.
fly, fatso, fly. No, um, by the way, I also learned today something, if you didn't know this, unrelated to this, but they're taking the Hobbits to Isengard, so you better watch out. No, great film. This actually comes with limited edition contents. There's a still photos on the film, and the bonus features what actually shows you different pictures from the film. There are different interviews with cinematographer David Klein, an animated making of documentary with crew members, deleted scenes, cast interviews from the set, erection of an epic, the making of Mallrats.
That title of that is absolute descriptive.
Build Me Up Buttercup music video, theater trailer, audio commentary with Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier, archivist Vincent, and actors Jason Lee, Ben Affleck, and Jason Mewes.
Oh God.
Introduction to the film by Kevin Smith, which we watched. And it jumped around. It was funny.
That was
My
it.
Mallrat Memories, an interview from Kevin Smith, a tribute to Jim Jacks by Kevin Smith, Blunt Talk, an interview with actor Jason Mewes, When We Were Punks, an interview with cinematographer David Klein. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. They even did a blueprint with Operation Drive-By and Operation Dark Knight. There's a reversible sleeve, which I didn't notice that.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's in here.
Usually when they say reversible sleeve, it means you can flip the cover.
Yeah, okay. I've never done. I've only done that with one film.
I'm sort of curious what the other one looks like, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we're gonna review the movie. To me, the best scene, one of the best scenes, is the Stan Lee cameo. That was amazing.
And what surprising with this physical release anyway is normally you don't see special features on the 4K disc.
That's why it's 2 discs though.
But,
but yeah, you're right. On the movie disc, that first disc there, it actually does come with some special features.
Both discs have special features in the movie.
For I think it was $10 maybe. They had been having deals. I bought the newest Transformers for $10 as well in 4K there one time. But guys, Mallrats, this is our fourth movie review now. We've kind of done obscure, kind of not as mainstream, but that's just how we are. We're into sort of more of these. There's stupid humor. There's Universal Monsters, of course. We'll get into some of that. There's Burton. I mean, there's just so many movies out there. Another movie him and I have talked about reviewing for the channel is Fanboys,
which I own. I don't remember.
I do too.
I got the Blu-ray.
We both have. I think I have DVD, so we'll have to watch yours because that's better picture quality. But guys, this is. Oh, who is this for? If you're a Kevin Smith fan, obviously.
Obviously, Kevin Smith fan. You've seen Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Any of those Jay and Silent Bob movies. If you haven't seen this all yet, I would give it a shot.
Yeah, he recommended it to me. It was a blind buy for me, but not a blind buy in the fact I had never seen it. But at the same time, I've seen some of Kevin Smith's films, and I appreciate what he does. He's a lot smarter than people realize. He's actually very intelligent. And the films he does, he knows what his audience is, I believe.
He knows exactly, yeah, that he's got that niche audience.
Yeah, I mean, these movies aren't for everyone, but I say if you like that, or you like stupid humor, like Harold and Kumar, stuff like that. You like silly humor. This is going to be a movie for you. Definitely silly humor. What What were some things? Obviously, seeing a mall's cool because we've been talking about going to one, and the mall thing has died and bounced back.
Unfortunately, yes, it has, largely due to online shopping. But I think what keeps some of those malls alive is those specialty shops. Looking at like Hot Topic, Slackers, V Stock, where they specialize. There's another one, Off the Wall. They specialize in certain items. V Stock is a used book and movie store.
And there's something about being able to go in and see the condition of something in front of you before ordering online. You order something online, it comes in the
And
mail.
the picture doesn't always match.
Right. It could be they took a picture of a really crisp new cover, and then you got an old one that's a little bit beat up. Now their books are generally pretty good there, but the point is, there's something about going to a store physically and actually buying stuff. Because I told him I about bought the Best Buy had an exclusive 4K Twilight collection, but the final one they only had one copy left. The spine was like broke off, and a lot of people said that they were having trouble with that on Breaking Down Part Two. Wherever you opened it, the whole thing just fell apart. So to me, I do not want to buy movies, especially with some of the prices. Some of them, if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, go look at it in front of you. Unless you're going getting something like I haven't had any trouble with Amazon. You haven't had any trouble with Grub.
Grub. But I've also used both Walmart.com. Usually when I order through Walmart, it's third-party Grub anyway.
Okay.
But I've used Amazon a couple times. Until I just try to make sure it's not.
So I've used Amazon quite a bit because
in relation to ordering movies in condition not being great. Recently I ordered Alien Covenant to finish out my Blu-ray Alien collection, and the case won't close. So I went on to Amazon and ordered an empty Blu-ray case so I could actually close the
So
case.
can you pop the cover out of the one that's not working and put it into the other one?
Yeah.
Cool. Because I'm big on keeping the art and everything. There's something about keeping the art intact and everything on the cover.
I agree.
Makes it cool.
Some of the cover art, despite people saying physical media is dying because of streaming, and maybe they're partly right, but I think the cover art is maybe what attracts people. It definitely
I hear a lot more complaints on Blu-rays. A lot of people do not like the art on Blu-rays. 4K and DVDs, they kind of.
The way Mallrats is, where it's got that animated style.
I love it.
Is definitely eye-catching.
To me, the film is, if you're either gonna like it or you're gonna hate it, depending on your type of humor.
That is definitely one of those where it's one way or the other.
Yeah, there's not gonna be an in between where you go, well, they changed my mind on stupid humor. No, if you hate stupid humor, you're not gonna like this. I mean, hell, he got his girlfriend's hair stuck, for God's sakes.
And a shotgun.
Yeah, and so kudos to you if you know the reference there from the wall. But no, it's definitely stupid humor, and if you don't enjoy that, you're not going to enjoy this film. We try to be very upfront with you guys on the channel. We don't want you spending money. If you like stupid humor and you don't want to fork out the money, streaming has a place. You can rent it, but for $10, as I told him, if I spend $10 on a movie and don't like it, I just give it to a friend that enjoys it more, or I just sell it to somebody else. But usually I just give it away.
Between us, we've got a wide selection of friends. It's like, okay, I don't like this person, but I know who will.
Right. So this is for the Kevin Smith fan, the stupid humor fans. This is a mid 90, 95?
95.
95
It's
release.
as old as me. It's nearly 30 years old.
Now, if you're gonna ask us the difference between the theatrical cut and the extended cut, the theatrical cut is 95 minutes, so hour 35.
Yep.
The extended one is 122 minutes, 2 hours and 2 minutes. So you're adding
another half hour.
Yeah, another half hour.
Because the credits, what? Maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah, so you're adding like 30 minutes of, content. And by the way, he had chili dog at Dairy Queen today, and I don't know what hell I went to before, what cat I kicked, and I deserve that kind of punishment, but damn. But Mallrats, great film, funny. There are some moments where it's a little more serious, but I think my favorite overall scene besides the Stan Lee cameo was when they're on the dating show.
Yeah.
That part was glorious.
Shut up, Jill.
Just the way that... Am I going to get a chance to talk again? Him and the girl?
No!
But the way they did that whole scene, and it's a pretty long scene. Really well done. And then the scene at the what do they call it, the dirt mall
Yes,
with the fortune teller.
with the fortune teller. Yes.
That was great. Like it stands out because it's a unique scene. But it's if you like things like Fanboys and Harold and Kumar and stuff like that, Talladega Nights, you're gonna enjoy this. It's stupid humor, but it also has quite a bit of cool things. Like Stan Lee, the scene with him. If I would have watched this before he passed, I would have looked at it differently. Now it's like, man, it still hits you. Like, man, here's this guy that was so creative that now that he's gone, it feels weird seeing him because he was so much younger than this.
Yeah,
And I
that you
wasn't.
could
I had to
tell.
look for a second because I'm like, is that really Stan Lee?
Yeah, it was
Because I'm used to
Stan.
the all white hair, and he had a little bit of
He had
darker
he
hair
hadn't
still.
gone all white
He
yet.
hadn't gone
yeah.
all white yet. He wasn't Snow White. But and the things that he asked this poor guy is just hilarious. But
the thing is, in relation to the Mallrats Stan Lee bit, you've seen Captain Marvel. When you see him on the train in Captain Marvel,
I love that scene.
he's actually reading the script to Mallrats.
That's awesome. I heard about that, and Kevin Smith got a big kick out of that.
Yeah, and if you think about the time period that Captain Marvel is set, they would have been getting ready to shoot Mallrats.
That's right. I enjoy this film. I think if you have stupid humor, at least check it out. I'm not saying you have to buy it, but you can rent it maybe online or something.
And it's definitely one that if you live by yourself maybe, or you're by yourself, kids are at school, spouses at work, you need something just on for background noise. It's definitely one of those.
No, sit down and watch it.
You can, but it's one you don't have to pay a lot of attention to, is what I mean.
I guess after the first watch, yeah. But I would say watch it the first time. Don't just put it on as background noise and ignore it. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Any movies like that, you should at least watch it fully at least once.
Yeah. This is a film, though, I could see here in about a month or even sooner, where I'm just like, I have a friend that comes over and we're going to an event in, like 3 hours. You throw this on and you watch it. But by the way, I made the comment to you. It went from 95 to 122 minutes. What could they have cut? Because there was nothing in the extended edition that felt like filler scenes. Like you know how sometimes you'll see deleted scenes, and you're like, yeah, okay, I see why they deleted that. With this, there wasn't anything in there that felt like this doesn't belong or it's boring. It all feels like it flows with the movie.
And in my opinion, at least, this is the fourth movie I've seen where it does that. The other three, as I'm sure we'll get into in its own little video, is The Lord of the Rings. If I had not seen the theatrical releases so much where I knew going into the extended cuts what was added, I could pick out what was added, I probably wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, so it makes me change my perception on movies.
So yeah, with Mallrats trying to now, maybe at some point in the future, going and watching the theatrical cut and figuring out what actually got cut. Because Kevin Smith even said in the introduction that some of it was stuff from the TV version.
Yeah, and he said, because you noticed that it jumped around a little bit.
I did notice one jump in the frames, and that's normal when the way they got to do extended cuts if you got old frame. I only noticed it once, and that's because it just all of a sudden it jumped. I guess I blinked right before it, so I didn't. So I actually caught the jump. If there were other jumps, maybe I missed them because I blinked.
And Kevin Smith recommended in the intro that if you don't blink and just stare at the TV and then blink whenever it jumps, you won't notice it. So that was good advice by him.
Yes, and then that whole jumping bit with the introduction, that was cute.
But it definitely is if you like comedy, which whenever him and I were arranging my collection, he's like, Billy, you have so much comedy. I didn't realize how much, but the majority of my collection, the biggest genre I have is comedy. And it's just because if you're having a day and you're feeling kind of sick and you just want to lay there and watch something, a comedy you can throw on without having to really pay attention. You can be half out of it and still appreciate the humor and stuff.
Yes.
So comedy to me is a very easy genre to watch, no matter what.
If I was to organize my collection by genre, because it's actually organized by release date at the moment, I'd be on the other end of the spectrum.
What would your biggest genre be?
Horror.
Horror. I'm starting to get a little bit more horror, but I would still say that it's not a. It takes up one row, but some of that isn't really horror. Like the Addams Family isn't really horror.
Dark comedy.
Dark comedy. Same thing with like Coraline or House with the Walls and Its Clock. It's kind of there, but it's not exactly.
House with the Walls.
Yeah, it's not really.
Billy, I think you got the words mixed up there.
Oh, see, I'm not dyslexic when I read, but I'm dyslexic when I talk. Dyspepsia.
House with the clock on its wall.
Dysphokia. I have dysphokia, damn it. But no, in all seriousness, some of the films, like, okay, Love and Monsters, it's not really horror, it's more just there. So, but dark comedies I kind of threw in there together. Halloween Town isn't scary, so I don't have a lot of horror.
I'm pretty sure we've mentioned this before, but at some point in the future, we will both be doing individual videos together. But we'll be going through one of our collections and then the other.
I think we'll do yours first.
It'll be 2 separate videos.
Yes, it will, because we're in 2 different locations.
Don't know when exactly we're going to be doing them, but we will be doing them that way whenever we'll take it. And once we get the broad collection out of the way, either beginning of the year or end of the year, whenever we work it out, we will be like, okay, well, this is what we've got this year.
Yeah, I would like to do
and talk about what we've added to the collection. Maybe one of us has some obscure movie that some of you older audiences, or maybe your parents or grandparents, had when you were younger, and you've not seen it for who knows how long. So we bring that back into your thought, and you're like, I want a copy of that.
Yeah.
So if we can help, we bring back those memories from even childhood,
or just get you into film collecting.
Getting into film collecting itself, and a lot of that collecting begins with finding certain ones that you want.
So Mallrats is great, but this is part 2 of the video now. We're going to do a little bit of physical media talk now while we're here. Why not?
We can do that.
Okay, so I want to give some advice. Him and I are both a part of a physical media group.
It's a DVD/Blu-ray collectors group on Facebook.
Right, and sometimes people get into 4K too.
We're physical media. We talk about physical media. And yes, we compare the different versions sometimes. I've posted pictures of Blu-rays that I've watched, and I've had people comment the 4Ks are great. You should get them. I'm like, I don't have the setup for that.
Okay, I will say, visually, yes, 4K, but
now 4K, is the audio also better?
Yes, it's not only picture, it's audio that they really enhance. But here's the thing. I try to go for 4K plus Blu-ray, so that, like, if I'm visiting you or another friend that has, let's just say they just have a regular Blu-ray player, we can still watch it, because there's still a lot of people that have DVD only or Blu-ray only, and that's fine. Whatever format you have, there's nothing wrong with it. I've decided, though, I've been thinking about it more, I'm only replacing titles when either I think it's a real cool Steelbook upgrade, or I think it's a film that's worth upgrading. Like Beetlejuice recently, I just upgraded. But I would say do your research, buy the movie in the format you want the first time if you can. If you want 4K, and you want the special features, do 4K plus Blu-ray, buy it once you're done. Some of these films I've had to buy twice.
I've recently started upgrading bits of my collection because I didn't have access to a Blu-ray player when I bought them originally, so it was just the DVD. The Hobbits. And these were just the theatrical cuts I found at Walmart for $5 a piece.
That's a good deal.
2 discs, so it actually came with bonus features.
Was that on Blu-ray?
DVD.
That's still good. Yeah.
I recently found the Blu-rays in one case when we went to Slackers.
That's right.
So I went ahead and I upgraded a Blu-ray since I already had the extended editions of both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray.
That's great.
I figured, well, might as well get both versions, make sure I have all the special features. Because, and that's another thing, is sometimes you realize they release these multi-film sets. And those are great if you just want to boost your numbers. But if they're films you really enjoy, you want that background information. You want those making ofs, the deleted scenes if they provide them.
See, I'm not really worried about numbers now. I'm worried more about space. I look at it. Oh, I have too many. Like right now, I have more movies than I can fit on shelves with only doing one row. Because if you do two, it's like you said. It's not that I don't mind it. It's that I forget what I have in the back row.
Space doesn't really bother me. I just look at it. I need another bookshelf.
I do too, but I'm getting to where I think I could only fit. I think when I move what I want to move, I can get maybe what 2 more in there if I really.
From the end of this far one to the wall.
Well, not, yeah. If I move some
Yeah.
stuff around, yeah, I can get 2. But my thing is, I don't want to get to the point where I don't have space to add another shelf because that would just be ridiculous. So I'm at that point to where I kind of want to just like really go for the new release. Like, and I still have. You can see I probably have like 30 more films to watch, and some of them that if I don't like them, I'll give them to other friends and stuff. So they may not end up on a shelf. They may, and there's another row behind there of movies I've already watched that I want to keep, but it's just I forget what title. So I would advise if you're doing collecting, like we talked about this before, get yourself one shelf to start out with. Go for the stuff that you would want if you're going to be home for a bit, you're sick, whatever. Go for your all-time favorites first.
Your go-to movies. Everybody have them.
Yeah,
well,
like
they got
okay. Let's each name a few. Greatest Showman, The Patriot, and Ready Player One are probably 3 off the top of my head.
Okay.
For your personal collection.
Personal collection ones I went for Trick or Treat.
Okay.
The reason I am a huge Middle Earth fan, that's why I got pretty much everything they've ever released except for the 4K copies. Which if I ever upgrade, yes, those will be among the first.
Okay, cool.
But and there's others. If I just want to get spooked a bit, but like not like beyond what Trick or Treat can provide, Alien. The original Alien. Basically, for those of you that haven't seen it, it's a haunted house movie in space. That's all I'm going to say about it now.
I actually need to watch.
If we ever review it, we can go into more detail than that.
But here was a must-buy for me day one. I could not buy it fast enough, which is why I didn't end up with the Steelbook because I was impatient. But Scream 6, this was a day one for me.
The Scream movies.
I love that film so much.
Okay. Subgenre for myself. Slasher. I've always loved the slasher movies. I grew up with Jason, Chucky, Freddy, all those 80s slashers. So, and I didn't actually have any of the Scream movies until after 6 came out.
That's smart, though.
I waited a bit and I bought the 6-film DVD set. And it's great. 1, 2, and 3 have beautiful. I think 4 does too. So 1 through 4 have special features. 5 and 6 in the set are unfortunately bare bones. I thought about upgrading just those 2 to at least see what's on the Blu-rays. But that's just my personal. I mean, everybody's got what they like.
Exactly, and I do have. I had a scary thought. If him and I both like worked in the same town, and we ever would have crossed paths and became roommates, oh my god, we would have the most epic home theater for an apartment. We'd have like a really cool home theater set up between the two of us, and I would have a rule basically that we each know who shelves are who, but anytime you want to pull off a movie and watch it, you're always welcome to just like, oh yeah, let me watch one of his, and same.
Yep.
But we eventually, once I have an actual house, not an apartment, I want to get slowly but surely still get more films. Because here's the problem with film collecting. I would warn you guys. You never have all the movies you want because just when you think you're like, then you remember, oh yeah, I don't have that film.
You either remember or you're walking through, say, Slackers or Salvation Army or Goodwill, and they've got you catch a movie on the shelf out of the corner of your eye, and then you start looking and realizing, wait a minute, I've not seen that in years, and you start pulling, and before you know it, you drop $50 on just movies.
Oh, easily.
Maybe not Salvation Army or Goodwill for me, but Slackers definitely.
Well, Slackers, yes. Somewhere like V-Stock, easy.
Oh, easy.
Because they do deals. If you buy so many, you get like they did one time. It was like buy 9, get the 10th free.
I mean, Slackers just has that one long wall, but something like V-Stock, where it's basically the entire store is nothing but film.
Film and books, yeah. They have thousands of films. So the thing is what you do is you set yourself a budget for that day.
We've talked about doing this later this year, and I've told Billy, I'm like, make sure we set a budget each
We're
of
going
us.
April, yeah.
and we do not go over said
And
budget.
what he said is this though. I'm thinking probably we will be doing a. I actually am waiting to do a review of my collection until I watch everything I have. That's why I've been holding mine off.
That makes
But-
sense. I've got quite a few that I've not seen, but because
Now
I've
some of
seen-
this stuff I've seen some of it. Like I know Greatest NXT Matches Volume 1. I've watched most of it, but it's been a while, so I wanted to give some of it a rewatch and see if it all comes back to me. But anyways, we're gonna do a collection video, and then what I'm gonna do from there is after we do our collection video, I'm gonna write down on a piece of paper anything that I bought within that year that wasn't there before, and that way instead of redoing the whole video, just doing a video of all the other stuff and calling it part like 2025, 2026. That way you guys can see like what we've added rather than us having to talk about. Because when we do the review, I know what you and I both can do the same thing. We're gonna talk briefly or about ones we really like. We'll probably talk about the films a bit.
Yes.
Like I'll give you an example. If I pull out
Yeah.
Avatar, I'll say great epic, science movie. That might be all I say. It changed the way movies are done. It started a 3D trend, etc. But then there are other films I really won't talk about much. It'll be more like, oh yeah, I have this. That's because there are some films that I have that I'm gonna say I enjoy or I bought them because even though they're not considered amazing, I still have memories of like good memories of them. Like going to the theater.
I've got a few like that. Most of mine are connected to series though, where the first one is really good, and the sequel sort of declined in quality.
There's a lot of those, but yeah, physical media. By the way, what was there was something we talked about earlier. We wanted to bring up with you guys about why you should do physical media. What was it? We were sitting at the Dairy Queen waiting on food.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm trying to remember. It'll come back to me later. It always does.
It wasn't picture quality because we talked about that before. There was something about we said that there was something good about owning it physically and not streaming it. Obviously, the edited stuff and the cutout stuff we've talked about before.
Yes.
What the hell was it? We're gonna remember it after off screen. We're gonna be mad.
Yes.
We'll keep it running for a minute because we might be able to think of it. It was something about I said something about hey, another good point about physical media is, and then we sort of had a quick talk about it. We're so scatterbrained sometimes, guys. I swear.
Side effect of ADOS. Attention deficit. Ooh, squirrel.
Or shaming. Yeah. Or that's kids on the escalator again. Or the hobbits. The hobbits
They're
are
taking the hobbit sizing guard.
Yeah. So no, I'm trying to be serious now. It was I'm never serious, by the way. You should. Whenever I asked a friend one time, "Are you serious?" He goes, "I want to be serious with you." He goes, "You mean Sirius Black?" I'm like, yeah. But what was it we said about physical media? It was something really cool, like something important. Oh, it was something really important with physical media. We said something about having the. I tell you what, we will do another video on physical media soon, and we will try to write down what we talked about.
Yeah, we gotta definitely write down ideas because otherwise they go.
They go off into. Wait a minute. We have to go on an adventure. It's Lost, which means I know exactly where it is.
Yes. Those we do later in the year.
Yes, we will. If you got that reference, we're not saying what it's from. If you got that reference, leave a comment. Tell us what movie that is from. But if it's Lost, that means I know exactly where it is.
I'm thinking maybe October we start covering them.
Yes. Oh yeah. Early, either September, October.
Late September, early October.
Yeah,
so we can get through them all.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do a one-day marathon and even do a little party, a little Halloween
base
party.
the releases out like normal.
But guys, thank you for tuning in. We promise we will come back and not suck as much on remembering things. Wait a minute, what did we just promise the fans?
Ain't that the truth? I don't know if it's the sheer amount of caffeine I drink in one day or what, but I do have trouble remembering.
He might only be 5 foot, but he's all jacked up on Dr. Pepper. He'll whoop your ass.
I posted that to Facebook. I'm all jacked up at Dr. Pepper. It was at 10 o'clock at night, and the response I got from one of my friends was, "When aren't you?"
Yeah, I think if they ever did a blood test on him, they'd say, well, your blood's 90% Dr. Pepper. What the heck? And I'd be coffee. But take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will be more goofy and have more antics coming at you soon. And when we go to the mall, should we do a review of what we all found that day, or should we just wait to add to our collection videos?
Depends if we've already done the collection videos or not.
That's true. We might just add it to our collection, but we might do some adventure videos where we like show you afterwards what we did, what we got
It's
after
like,
we
hey,
went somewhere.
it's like quick video. Hey, this is where we're at, and then that way we've got that part, and then it's like we've now returned from our adventure.
And it'll be like there might be a little jump, guys.
Yeah, there would be a little jump.
But there was a little jump one time when I went to the doctor for something. Anyways, you know, you hear those stories. There was a poster. I have to tell you this story because it's funny, and I'll share it with you guys. There was a poster on a wall, and it shows a guy jumping 10 feet in the air, and the doctor very calmly says, "This must be your first prostate exam."
Oh.
All right. On that note, we're going. We'll see
Take
you.
care.
Take care.